Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
So I wanted to know about some spooky experiences you all had, paranormal or not.
Bumping with two stories, around 18. Mother had recently died, so I live alone. Showering at 3 a.m. because why not? Start hearing muffled music, assume it's a party somewhere. I get out of the shower and listen. Sounds like a broken music box. I get dressed and realize it's coming from the lounge room. The sound is coming from a basket of kids' toys that belong to my nephew. Not too spooked, perfectly explainable. I flip the light switch. Nothing happens. Oh well. There's enough light from the kitchen to see. Have to dig through the basket to find the toy. Right at the bottom, one of those computer things with math games for little kids is playing music. Pull out the batteries and throw it back in the basket. As soon as I step out of the room, the light turns on. Very unusual, but still calm. Turn it off and head to bed. As soon as I get to the hall, the toy starts up again. I still have the batteries with me. Nope. Play loud music to drown it out until daylight. It might have been a different toy, but still, it was pretty weird. A few weeks after the last story, having a bath around midnight. After about half an hour, I start hearing footsteps running up and down the hall. First thought is, my sister came over to get something. The side door and back door are both right next to the bathroom, and I hadn't heard anyone unlock them. Should also mention that the front door can't be opened from the outside. I get dressed, make sure the bathroom door is locked, and sit there for 20 minutes. Footsteps keep going up and down the hallway. If they are a murderer or robber, they aren't very good at it. The footsteps slow down, step into the laundry. They stop around 5 meters from the door. The only weapon I have is a razor. I grab it and sit in the corner. I only have my iPod with me and no internet connection, so I can't contact anyone. An hour passes and nothing happens. I look under the door and can't see anyone. Eventually get the courage to go out, turn every light on and search every room. No one there and no sign of a break-in. I don't remember ever being so scared. I really can't explain that one. They were heavy steps, so it couldn't have been an animal or anything. Nothing has really happened since then, though.
I've got a good amount of these if anyone is interested in more. I've been messing with the paranormal for a few years now and have always been pretty engrossed in it. Be me at 9 years old. My mother died when I was 8. Poor family, sleeping in the basement together. Me and my sisters sleep in the same bed, perpendicular to our father. There is about 10 feet of space between our bed and our father's. Hear something in the middle of the night. Always been a light sleeper. Sounds like crying. Still half asleep. Dad, is that you? Wonder if he is sad about Mom. Start to wake up. Dark as shit in the basement. Look over to Dad's bed where the crying's coming from. A black figure, darker than night, kneeling over my dad who was asleep. Crying. Start to whimper out of pure fear. Can't move. The black figure turns its head. The black figure stands up. Looks like my mom. Starts walking closer. Shove my head under the covers and pray. Pray for life. Pray for the figure to go away. Pray to fall back asleep and forget it ever happened. Slowly pull the covers away and look out after 5 minutes of praying. The figure is gone. Be me at 16 years old. Had a Wiccan friend who claimed he could summon demons. Do it then. He tried, never succeeded. One day a thought comes. I could do this myself. Purchase several books on the art, including the Lesser and Greater Keys of Solomon. Make preparations for a Saturday. Saturday comes. It is a January in North Carolina. And so there is a light snow. My sister and Dad leave the house. I decide to walk about half a mile from my home to an intersection between two dirt roads. Once there, I begin to draw the symbols in the dirt, including the circle of operations and the triangle. I brought a leather-backed journal with me, including all the necessary chants that I created the weeks before. Begin the evocation. Nothing happens for a few minutes. Suddenly, the wind begins to pick up and the snow comes down more forcefully. Within a couple minutes, the candle had blown out. Still suspicious. Candles can blow out. No biggie. Continue calling on the demon. Hear soft laughing to my right. Turn and look into the woods. Nothing there but darkness. Wait a few more minutes. A sudden roar comes from the woods on my left. Snow begins to come down very hard. I have no gloves because the snow wasn't bad when I left my house. Need to leave before my fingers freeze. Give the command to leave. Try to walk back home. Snow is worse than it has been all year. Can't feel my hands, and it's getting harder to walk back. My legs are killing me. My whole body is numb as I walk inside. Run to the sink and spray hot water all over my hands. Look outside the window. Snow stopped once I came inside.
18 years old. Last summer with my best friend before I move away for uni. Decide it's spooky in the woods time. Challenge ourselves to go to this waterfall in the woods close to town. At midnight, time comes. We pack some water and food and start walking. It's around 1 hour by foot following this narrow forest trail. Walking for around 20 minutes. Have music blasting through my phone, using it as a flashlight as well. Walking in front. Decide to prank my friend. Stop the music suddenly, pretend I'm scared. Did you hear that? No? Hear what? Dude, run! Start running. Friend follows me. Run for around a minute. Stop and start laughing my ass off. Friend calms down, realizing it was a joke. Look around. Realize we're not on the right trail anymore. Must have turned right instead of left while running in the dark. Whatever. We've taken this path once around a year ago. It takes longer, but we can still get to the waterfall. Walk for around 30 minutes. Fuck. Why aren't we getting there? Where are we? I don't remember this trail at all. Realize we should be walking to the left as possible to get there. Keep walking for another 5 minutes. Trip on a rock and slide down to the side of the trail. It's around 2 meters. Pretty steep, but I'm okay. Threw my phone to the side to try and catch on to something. Friend comes down. We go get the phone. Notice something weird. It's like a small cave in the rock next to us. Really small. More like a big hole. Go check it out. Find a bunch of improvised furniture. A bed made out of wooden sticks stacked together, covered with rags and shit. A small desk made out of wood with shelves and shit. A hanger with a really old coat and a blanket. Everything is dirty and covered in webs. There's an old bottle with dried ink and a feather in it. A bunch of papers with writings on them with weird symbols. Get really scared and paranoid. Let's keep moving. Get to the waterfall in like an hour and spend the night there.
Figure I'll dump my story. Interstate truck driver. Been running on the night shift for nearly a week. Shit sucks. Never get enough sleep, but never have to deal with traffic. Taking back roads 'cause the GPS says it's quicker. Should mention most back roads at night are pitch black. You're lucky if you get light from the occasional house or the rare street lamp. Driving when the CD player starts to get weird. Not skipping, but instead slowing down. Turn it off 'cause it's creepy. Something else that needs fixing. Suddenly the truck shudders and dies. Spend several panicky minutes trying to start it up again. When a knock on my passenger side door. Turn on the dome lamp. Standing there is a young girl, maybe 10 years old tops, with either dark black eyes or no eyes. Now keep in mind that from the ground to the window of a semi is like 6 feet easy, and even if she was on the step, she'd still have to haul herself up just to see in the window. She motions for me to roll down the window. Nope.jpg. Finally, the truck turns over and the headlights come on. See another little girl wearing a dirty dress standing in front of the truck. She's holding something. Nope, nope, nope. Floor it. Scrambling to switch gears. Go right over her and keep going. I drove for 6 hours all the way to my final stop in daylight before I got out of that truck. I set my GPS to only drive on freeways now.
Eating hot dogs with friends. A friend and I live close to each other, so when we finish, we both go to the same place. There were 2 ways of reaching our houses. The long way, lighted by public lights, or the short way, but creepy and dark and misty. What the fuck was it, misty? Beats me. It was the middle of spring and that colony was in the middle of the desert. Hey, Anon, let's go through the long way. Are you autistic, man? This is the best way. Trust me. Trust me. So this idiot decides that I am an intelligent person, at least enough for him to follow me through this dark stretch of land. Keep walking. Nothing bad happens except that it's getting colder and colder. I decide to turn around just because holy shit.jpg, is that a fucking shadow? Say to myself, alright Anon, don't freak out, you know how this guy is really scaredy. What is it, Anon? My friend asks. Oh, nothing. Keep walking, and we both keep turning around, just because. When suddenly I hear a bell, turn around and see the shadow again, only it's closer this time, and I can swear it is grinning. Tell my friend, let's hurry, it's getting later and we might get into trouble. Hear the bell again. Friend tells me, did you hear that? I tell him, the bell? He nods. Full freak out mode. Run. We both start running and manage to reach our home safe and sound. Turns out that in that same stretch of land, there used to be a guy that lived in the same colony and liked to hide there and scare people. When a fire broke out and the whole place burned to the ground, they found him burned there.
Be 13 or something. Go on a field trip to creepy maintenance tunnels under the school because it's the last few days and our science teacher was rad. The tunnels get progressively smaller as you go. The entire time, there's this slight banging noise. Everyone figures it's just pipes or whatever. Reach a point about 3 or 4 feet wide. Teacher sends students in 2 at a time with a flashlight to look around the corner because there are no electric lights any farther down. The first pair of kids comes back and tells the teacher someone was doing something on some pipes back there. Teacher figures probably some maintenance dude. Goes into the tunnel, calls out to the dude, banging stops. Teacher's eyes go wide. Okay, everyone, please turn around, go back out, go, go. Everyone is weirded out. Teacher is antsy, practically pushing kids who are falling behind. Get back to the normal school area. Teacher calls the office immediately, says there was some dude with a jumpsuit and a glow stick banging on the pipes with a wrench. When she called out to him, he fucking hissed at her and crawled away. The entire class is nope. School does nothing. Teacher is jumpy for the last couple days of school. Go home. Completely forget about it until now.
Kinda long, but this seriously gives me chills even years later. B14. Getting lunch downtown with a friend. A man is walking in the opposite direction, coming straight towards us. It's noon. We're not scared. He's a block away now. We notice something is wrong. The man is about 7 feet tall, probably weighs only 125 pounds max. His legs look like elongated toothpicks. He's coming. My friend turns to me. Anon. Is it just me, or does something seem wrong? The man gets close to us, maybe a foot away, bends forward, practically in half at the waist, to stoop to our level. His movements are unnatural, like this guy is straight up folded in half. Sticks his face in ours, inches away. He smells like rotten meat. His eyes are wide, popping out of his head. Doesn't blink. Giant crooked smile on his face. He just stands there. We're completely petrified. Finally, we get the courage to walk away. Turn back and he's in the exact same spot, same position, but he's twisting his folded body in our direction. Stares at us as we leave, still grinning. That night we both have nightmares. I never recovered from this. Something about this man wasn't human.
Could you describe him in greater detail? About how thick were his limbs up close? What color was his skin, eyes, hair? How was he dressed? Was his face as skeletal as the rest of him sounds like it was?
Sure. His limbs were essentially maybe an inch thicker than his bones. I mean, his legs must have just been around 5 inches in diameter or something. Really unsettling skinny, but not absolutely impossible skinny. His irises were dark, probably a dark brown or black. Hair was black, starting to bald, slicked backwards with gel or oil or something. He was wearing a pair of black dress shoes, dress pants, a black wife beater, and a long faded black duster. His face was skinny. Think the Machinist. The only way I can think to describe him is that overall he seemed really snake-like, like his head kind of bobbed a little bit, the way a snake does when it's looking at its surroundings, maybe?
2 stories, related, both from my friend's mom's place. This is out in the middle of nowhere, and the home is old enough to have servants' stairs. Freaky shit happens there all the time, and is apparently getting worse. But these are just what has happened to me. Tale 1. At the house, getting stuff ready for a friend's summer wedding. Long, hard day. Prepared to sleep well. Sleep in my friend's little sister's room, on bunks. I'm on the bottom, sharing with another friend. 3rd friend on top. They're out like lights, but not me. I hear footsteps walk down the hall, starting from the top of the stairs, pausing or slowing down at our door, then carrying on. The sound stops at the room at the end of the hall, tapping on the wall. Keep telling myself it's the pipes. No, deep down, that's not how pipes sound. Tapping intensifies, constantly erratic, eventually stops when I'm about to lose it. Tapping is right by my head, from inside the wall. Next morning, cryptically mention it to the wedding friend and her mom, so as not to scare the kids. They look at each other knowingly. Friend later tells me to just say, "Please stop, I don't like that, if it happens again." It didn't, and I'm glad for it. If I asked it to stop and it had, I would have lost it. No way to deny it to myself if it had stopped when asked. Tale 2. Summer wedding time. All very nice. Going swimmingly. Wedding at the house, so obviously it's full. Oldies and young kids sleep in the house. Everyone else brought tents or went to the nearest town's B&Bs and such. Happy to sleep in a tent. No weird shit this time. Ha. Go onto the porch to get food from the dessert table. Reaching for delicious trifle. Feel a hard tap on my butt cheek, like someone poked it to see how far it would squish. A buddy at the wedding does stuff like that, and is a known grabber. Spin around to tell her to stop. No one there. No one anywhere within 50 feet of the porch but me. Not even scared. Fucking butt-touching ghosts. Don't know why, but that one didn't bother me until I thought about it later. My initial reaction was just, I have had it up to here with these groping ghosts touching my fucking bum. I just want some trifle.
Reminds me of a spirit at the house I grew up in. Little fella scared the crap out of me early on, but I became fond of it once I realized it wasn't malicious. We had multiple spirits come and go, but this one would just play little pranks, move objects around, stuff like that. It was powerful enough to levitate a shirt and a stuffed animal, but never harmed anyone. I feel rather grateful to have had such undeniable experiences. One time when I was probably about 5 or 6, I had just moved into my new bedroom. I had the door cracked slightly with the light on in the hall. Noises from the upstairs living room kept me awake. I'd open my eyes and see a striped shirt in the doorway for a split second. All I could see was the shirt, though. What the hell, I was getting pretty creeped out, so I bolstered my courage and forced myself to go check the hall. There it was, laid neatly over a basket of crumpled, dirty laundry. I started to feel pretty freaked out and decided to sleep with the lights on. I almost fell asleep when something woke me again, and I opened my eyes to see the shirt flying around the room. I screamed and ran downstairs. My dad was pissed and kept saying there's no such thing as ghosts, but I insisted on sleeping in their room that night. I later learned not to fear the little imp, though. Once I was attacked by a hungry ghost, and after that I realized I could feel the energy of the spirit and tell whether or not it was malicious. At that point, I stopped being scared of most spirits, and living in a haunted house became fun. This house was so haunted I had to listen to music or I couldn't sleep, because I'd hear voices and objects moving in the next room over, which was not occupied at night when we're all in bed. The upstairs living room and kitchen, that used to be part of a rental unit, was the epicenter of much activity. One of the other spirits in our house was the hungry ghost, attached to a creepy back stairwell. No one liked to use that stairwell, but my dad wouldn't admit there was anything strange about it, even though he tried to permanently bolt the door shut one day for no discernible reason. The bolted door opens to the upstairs kitchen, which attaches directly to the upstairs living room from when it was a rental unit. This living room was our play area for a while, though it felt really creepy at night. None of us used the kitchen area when playing. We just didn't feel comfortable in there most of the time. This room was also where you'd hear a lot of noise at night. Toys would be rearranged the next morning, and there were times when everyone was downstairs and you'd hear someone walking around, opening and closing doors, and doing normal stuff like that up there, even though no one was upstairs. One night when I snuck to play Sega, I caught a glimpse of a tall, translucent, bluish glowing figure disappearing through the bolted door just as I turned to look. Our first glimpse of her. The stereotypical ghostly image of a lady in a long, tattered dress. Eventually, this became my bedroom when I became a teenager. That is when shit really hit the fan. I wouldn't see or hear anything. There'd just be this horrible sense of dread, and you'd feel you were being watched. There were some days it was so bad that I'd go to enter my room and would change my mind the moment I touched the doorknob and just nope, back downstairs. Sometimes it was like I didn't even think about it. I was going to my room, then all of a sudden I'm walking back downstairs without realizing why. At this point, the dread became so intense, some nights I'd sleep on the couch downstairs. I tried to defy it once, telling it I just wanted to get my games and then I'd leave. Then I heard this horrible sound like a CD playing backwards very loudly. The sound was coming from inside the room, but I couldn't find the source. I ran around messing with my radio and CD player looking for an explanation. I was frustrated and told myself it was stupid to be afraid of a noise, and told her again that she could have the room. Just let me get my stuff first. I normally didn't acknowledge her existence. It was just such a strange feeling. I couldn't see her, but I felt like I was having a standoff with her. I tried to unhook my game station one more time when I had this horrible feeling wash over me. It was a jolt of energy through me, and for a moment I had the completely illogical belief that I was going to die. It was a full-blown panic attack, like nothing I'd experienced, and you have to consider that I was used to being pestered by spirits. At this point, I'd had something punching the underside of my bed on multiple occasions, heard voices on a regular basis, had a spirit sit near my feet on my bed and tap its fingers to the music, had a door to a walk-in closet close and lock me in on more than one occasion, even though it naturally hangs open. All manner of creepy activity, and I stayed calm through it. But the panic this presence induced with little effort was beyond reason. I couldn't control my fear. I ran downstairs and called my dad and stepmom, begging them to come home because there's something in the house. They were furious, but I just couldn't feel safe. I continued to sleep in that room some nights and sleep downstairs others, until one day her presence vanished and no one knows why. She had been getting stronger and then, poof, gone. My sister told me later that she had seen her once back then. My sister never liked being haunted or talking about the spirits, but she has always seen them better than me. She said one night she went into my room to look for something, and before she could flick on the light, there was this pretty woman in a long gown standing in front of her with her arms open towards her as though offering a hug and smiling. But she said the dress was tattered, like something you only see in Halloween decorations, and she looked kind of wrong, just a bit off, you know? And she said though she was smiling, her expression looked deranged. She said she ran from the room and never told me because she knew I'd be angry at her for trying to sneak into my room and take things without my permission. Eventually, we started using that back stairwell again. The terrible claustrophobic feeling had vanished. The little walk-in closet that had windows facing into the stairwell. It had been an addition, and they never bothered to cover the old windows. No longer would close and lock people in. It was just normal now. Our friendly poltergeist still would visit sporadically, but I could tell it was harmless and would talk to it a little, though it never answered. It would move objects, such as setting down a stuffed animal next to me on my hand. It had been yards back on top of a box with the others. Quite the accomplishment. I kind of miss having that sense of something magical and otherworldly around, so long as it's a friendly one.
My story may not be that spooky, but I was still pretty scared. Last year, summer, around 1 a.m., browsing/fit because I don't have anything else to do. Suddenly, hear a loud buzzing noise. At the same time, the room suddenly gets flooded with orange light. Weirded out. Put my laptop down. Look to my right. See a big glowing ball of orange light. Still hear the weird sound. For some stupid reason, decide to get up and try to touch it. At that time, I'm not really scared, but a bit anxious. Just as I try to touch it, it disappears. No sound anymore. Room completely dark except for the light of my laptop. Realize what just happened. Now really scared. Turn the lights on. Run downstairs. Wake up my dad. Too scared to sleep in my bed. Ask Dad to switch beds. He agrees because he's annoyed and wants to get back to sleep. Hasn't happened again so far. I still don't know what that was.
My experience led me to /x/ and the paranormal world. Got off work at 2 a.m. driving back home. Had 2 ways to get home, either through the back way or the highway. Went through the back way past the hospital. About halfway home, car battery died. Weird. It was a brand new car. Some little girl and another little girl suddenly appeared at my passenger side. "Excuse me, sir, can we ride with you? Or borrow your phone?" "No, sorry. My car died." Suddenly the car lights turned on. Car engine not started yet. "How about now? Let us in." The girl started banging on my door, rolled up my window. She pressed her face up to the window. She either had no eyes, or they were just pitch black. Started the car and drove as fast as I could. Got home. Locked doors. Shut blinds and curtains over windows. 2 days before I could sleep again. That was my first time with the black eye people. The second, also last time, was worse because of my grandma. Visiting grandma, heavy rainfall at 9 p.m. She insisted I spend the night so I wouldn't wreck. "Okay, I will." 10:30, knock on the door. She went to see who it was. 2 little kids kept asking for the phone. I caught a glimpse of their eyes and ran to the bathroom because I was scared like a little chicken. Grandma claims they used the phone for 5 minutes, but refused to talk around her while on the phone. Grandma goes missing 2 days later and is never found. It's been 3 years, and every night I'm worried I'll hear them knock on my door.
Was attending a long-distance relative's funeral. No clue who the deceased was. Gave my condolences to the family and left the mourning room. A few hours later, I heard a gunshot fired into the air. It meant they were burying the coffin. Joined the other teens smoking under the hut after dinner. Before midnight, we heard a loud bang on the roof. It rolled and fell on the ground with a thump. Searched for what it could be and found nothing. There was no tree nearby, so it wasn't branches. We felt something eerie about the place and went back to the house. 1 a.m. I was dead tired when we reached home. I skipped a bath and went straight to bed. Hours later, I heard an owl-like voice that woke me up. I'm not a bird guy, but the sound was unnatural and I started having goosebumps. The voice got louder, followed by a thump on the roof and a rolling noise, then dead silence. Ran out of my room and locked the door since I knew I had a broken window inside. Sat there shivering until the sun rose. Later that day, one of the guys I hung out with at the hut mentioned that he had the same incident happen and saw a glimpse of a floating heart with guts and blood dripping outside his window. The others said they had heard the owl too, but didn't bother about it. The funeral was deep in the village, on a road where it fits only one vehicle to pass at a time. There was a shaman there too during the burial. And about the hut, I don't know how to call it. It's those with just some sticks as pillars and a zinc roof. The pic should give you the idea.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
2011. Me, a few friends, and one guy one of my friends knows, about 1 a.m. Go to a park we've creatively entitled the Scary Park. The park has a dock with small wooden towers overlooking a swamp, surrounded by forests. Streetlights are spaced out enough to barely give any light in most parts. Really lived up to the name we gave it. Walking around, enjoying the scenery. The group pulls a Scooby-Doo and splits up, walking around with a girl I was trying to rail. She tells me about her friend, the guy I didn't know in the group. Says he's been feeling really depressed lately. Feign interest because I was a horny 19-year-old sack of shit. Hear that guy start yelling. Hey guys, come check this out. Everyone runs to the little tower he's on. What's going on, man? The guy pulls out a pocket knife, starts viciously stabbing his own throat, walks back and sits on the ledge of the tower, slowly tumbles back into the water. Friends start crying and vomiting. I'm still trying to comprehend what I just saw. Call 911, then slowly start crying. Fuck, this is harder to type than I thought. Ambulance and police cruisers pull up. We get escorted away while a few cops search for his body. Not paranormal, but it fucked me up hard.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.